for the good of the world, it needs to get bigger. And so my view now is like, this is the status quo we've got, and it's a waiting game because the fiat system is going to collapse. And so you hold this and you wait and you wait and wait until we get a runaway collapse.
Renowned Bitcoin on-chain analyst, Willy Woo, recently grabbed headlines by expressing unexpectedly bearish sentiments regarding Bitcoin. This came as a surprise given Woo's long history of making bullish predictions during the 2021 bull run, when Bitcoin reached its current all-time high. At that time, he foresaw the cryptocurrency heading toward a minimum of $400,000 per coin. However, subsequent price fluctuations prompted him to adjust his timeline while remaining optimistic despite economic and market upheavals in 2022. Nevertheless, it appears that this independent analyst is currently adopting a less sanguine view of Bitcoin, at least in the short term. While many prominent investors and analysts anticipate significant upward rallies upon approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF by the SEC, Woo contends that Bitcoin will require more than just this regulatory milestone to achieve the massive 10x surges seen in past bull markets. According to Woo, Bitcoin has been and could continue to be vulnerable due to ongoing manipulation in the futures markets. He succinctly outlines his concerns about Bitcoin futures ETFs in a recent X post, stating that Bitcoin embodies personal sovereignty over our assets, as it can be sent without hindrance. However, its Achilles heel is its price, which can be artificially suppressed through synthetic Bitcoin. This is why a spot ETF has been delayed in favor of a synthetic ETF. Despite his short-term pessimism about Bitcoin, Woo remains committed to the cryptocurrency and believes it to be the only viable solution to the world's multifaceted financial and economic challenges. In his latest interview, he delves into his projections for Bitcoin, from its current state and price to its potential as a global reserve asset and a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. Stay tuned until the end of this video for clips from Willy Woo's insightful discussion about Bitcoin's future.
Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to drop your comment and observations in the comment section below. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Yeah, when we talk to people about the future of Bitcoin, they're like, yeah, but it's volatile. If we lose that volatility, perhaps that's good for the use case of Bitcoin as a currency. Is that possible? Is that utopian?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's black and white. I like the lower volatility is great, but the lower valuation is not so great. Like our volatile behavior has been from mooning, right? And that was great long term. So you have this sort of short term happiness, which is like, oh, I can buy bread and it's not going up and down, right? But like, can a really large country adopt it? No, it's too small. So I'd rather have upside volatility, not because I want to make shit piles of money, which I do, but like really for the good of the world, it needs to get bigger because the fiat system is going to collapse. And so you hold this and you wait and you wait and wait until we get a runaway collapse. And that might take 20, 30 years, according to Nick. It might be quicker, so forth. But, you know, you need to hold it in case everything goes to shit. And, you know, like a finance guy would say there's a call option on the end of the world. I've gone from this guy that's a tech guy to like, this is a new shiny thing, and then like understand how it works, and then like, holy shit, this is how the world economy works, and this is not so great, you know. And like I am very, very positive that ultimately innovation will win. Really positive that we are moving into a digital age. I think crazy shit's happening. If you focus on that, look, I'm in finance now. I mean, it just led to this, but if the guy that's a tech guy goes, fuck, this is great, this is amazing shit, and there's a huge future, we've just got an overhang. Well, at least I have, because I'm in the finance industry, where, you know, you talk to bankers and there's either bankers that are like, great, but they don't take much notice of it, and then the guys that are really, really conscious about what this means to the everyday people. That's the finance world, and you see this sort of cynicism. And but on the other side, there's the technology. And actually, I would say one thing about people call me a maximalist. I'm not a maximalist. I just did my research, and Bitcoin is the most kind of stable bet. But the thing is, there's a lot of innovation happening, and there's a lot of innovation across the whole crypto sphere. The problem is 99% of it is scams, right? They're like, you can make a lot of money quickly, and the incentives is to make that money. But actually, there's a lot of innovation that's happening that can change the world. It'll take some time. We've got to get the bugs out of it, you know, get the rugs out of there. But There is a lot of good stuff happening there. And I think that we as a cohort supporting Bitcoin shouldn't be too religious about like, that's all just scams, this is all bad stuff. And there's a lot of stuff in there that can help the future. And it's part of this digital age that we're moving into.
It's evident from his explanation and his substantial investment in Bitcoin that Wu maintains a bullish stance on the cryptocurrency. However, his primary focus lies in the asset's long-term development rather than seeking immediate gratification. When queried about the prerequisites for Bitcoin to fulfill its potential as the leading digital asset, he underscores the importance of time. According to this on-chain analyst, Bitcoin necessitates a prolonged period to foster increased adoption and price growth, making it more appealing to sovereign nations and significant institutional investors. During the live show, we will also delve into his current asset allocations and his viewpoints on other assets such as gold and equities. Here are more segments from the discussion.
I would say time. It just takes time.
It's a patience game.
Yeah, like as much as Bitcoin is time and money is time, for this to happen, it's a very, very patient game, because all the things that don't work, eventually they fail, right? Every time we've had a fiat currency, it has failed without question. And so this current system we're in is a short-term game for a lot of people to make a lot of money, and of course they're going to have a great life, but eventually the whole system does come down. There's the other side, there's a transition. There's a transition into a digital age that's happening. Probably both things are going to happen at the same time. But it's just time, from a market perspective, who's going to buy it, who's going to sell it. I can't get around the fact that we can't break through a ceiling. Maybe it's a glass ceiling, but there is a ceiling there, and that ceiling doesn't disappear until what's holding it up collapses. And so it's patience. I can't see us having a strong American government with a strong US dollar and Bitcoin becoming the world reserve currency. Diametrically opposed. So we're in a rock and a hard place. I just allocate to where I understand. So, it's relatively like, at times it was like 95% Bitcoin. We need a house to live in, so you have a house. Don't really understand that much, but you need it. I allocate into, I think the TradFi guys call it fixed income, which is like a whole bunch of trading behaviors, quant funds that generate returns from inefficiency of the market. So I allocate into that. And really I alternate between, say, something like Bitcoin and into this is risk on, this is risk off. Bitcoin's very, very volatile, and you don't know whether it's going to draw down 80%, but it might go 10x. And so you allocate between the two. That's what I do. I don't understand. Well, actually, I understand gold enough to know that I don't really want to invest in it long term, because I understand Bitcoin better. And I think gold has got very large problems in its scarcity coming ahead with the technology we can throw at mining gold. Equities, I think that's a really good bet, because you're betting on the world GDP. I'm not an expert in it, so I don't allocate there.
In the meantime, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy has made another substantial acquisition of 5,445 Bitcoin, as revealed in a recent announcement by the billionaire business executive. This recent purchase elevates the firm's total Bitcoin holdings to an impressive 150,245 Bitcoins, all acquired for a sum of $4.68 billion at an average price of $29,582. Michael Saylor's consistent strategy of procuring Bitcoin from various exchanges may not necessarily have a significant impact on the cryptocurrency's price. In a recent post on X, Saylor emphasizes that the notion of buying up Bitcoin inventory on exchanges driving the price upward is a misconception. He cites instances from the 2022 bear market, where no supply shock occurred because synthetic Bitcoin via futures markets augmented the available inventory. The market only found a bottom when futures markets eased up. He elaborates that investors seeking Bitcoin exposure can now opt for a futures ETF, but this doesn't create a supply shock, as these are essentially paper wagers on price increases. Hedge funds can take the opposing side of the bet, effectively generating new synthetic Bitcoin, and this process has no finite limit. To address this issue, Saylor suggests that a spot Bitcoin ETF would be a more suitable solution. For 7 years, the spot ETF has been consistently denied, while futures markets have thrived. Saylor asserts that the SEC's agenda has been unambiguous in this regard. What are your thoughts on Willy Woo's predictions for Bitcoin? Please feel free to share your comments and insights in the comments section below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.